Before we get started, we've just got some introductions. Court stenographer for tonight is Karen Browndorf. To my right is the Township Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Keith Billymeyer. From Falls Township, we have Matt Takita, Diane Baree, and Ed Neubauer. For petition number 1, Michael and Salley Young, 33 Lions Drive, Morrisville, PA, 19067, tax map parcel 13054-021, zoned NCR, requesting a dimensional variance for an 8-foot fence in the rear yard, which borders Eleanor Roosevelt Elementary School from section 20937C. If you can, please come to the podium. Thank you. Will you both be speaking tonight?
I think I'll lead.
Okay, yeah, whoever's speaking just has to be sworn in, so if you can, state your name for the record, and Karen will swear you in.
Michael Young.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Chairman, we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement submitted by the applicant. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township to the applicant dated May 15, 2026. 3 are plans, including the sketch of where the proposed fence would be. 4 is proof that the property was posted as required. 5 are pictures of the existing fence. 6 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letter sent from Falls Township dated June 1st, 2026, providing notice of tonight's meeting. 7 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times showing this matter was published May 26th and then again June 2nd, 2026. That is all the board exhibits. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied and this matter can proceed.
You may begin.
So like the back of our fence that borders Eleanor Roosevelt, we're looking to make it an 8-foot.
Can you just speak into the mic, sir? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Is the red light on?
I see a flashing light on the disc, but I don't
Okay.
see anything on the mic.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, so the backyard of our fence, it's in disrepair. We need to replace the fence. The portion that borders the Eleanor Roosevelt School is, from our side of the fence, it's low because the portion around our pool deck is elevated for drainage off into the backyard. Okay. So, we can see into the school can see into us. So we're looking for a variance to extend the height of the back fence. Again, only that borders the school. The rest of the fence around the backyard will be normal 6 foot.
Okay. Any questions from the board? No questions? No. Anything from the township? Any public comment regarding this? See none. So with that said, I would need a motion.
I move that the application of Michael and Salley Young requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-37.c of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow an 8-foot fence in the rear yard which borders Eleanor Roosevelt Elementary School at the property located at 33 Lions Drive, Morrisville, PA 19067, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
I have a motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chris. Nastasha, can you call the board?
Bill?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Moving right along to petition number 2. Megan McCauley, 12 Nottingham Drive, Fallsington, PA 19054, tax map parcel 13036-033, zoned LMR, requesting a dimensional variance to erect a fence in the secondary front yard from section 20937C. How you doing? If you can, just please state your name for the record.
Megan McCauley.
Could you just spell your last name, please?
MCCAULEY.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township dated May 15, 2026. 3 are color photographs showing the property was posted as required. 4 are a series of photographs pertaining to the site triangle. 5 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters sent from Falls Township dated June 1st, 2026. 6 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier-Times showing this matter was published May 26th and then again June 2nd, 2026. That is all the board exhibits. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied and this matter will proceed.
Thank you. May I begin?
I'm just looking to install a 6-foot privacy fence in the secondary side yard to close in the backyard and use the full lot there.
Okay. Any questions from the board? I see none. I do see.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
So you mentioned in your appeal about the site triangle. Have you had that evaluated?
Yes, somebody came in from the township and evaluated that.
Okay.
We're also looking to be about 35 feet off the side of the driveway. So he found no
Okay.
issue with the
Great.
site.
Thanks.
You said 35 feet?
Off the side of the driveway,
Okay.
yes.
It does look like there's a 36-inch setback from the sidewalk as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? No? Anything from the township regarding this?
Nothing from me. I don't think Ed has anything either.
Ed,
No,
any?
she's okay. She's not in the site triangle.
Perfect. Okay, any public comment? No public comment, so I would need a motion.
Okay, I move that the application of Megan McCauley requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-37.c of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to erect a fence in the secondary front yard at the property located at 12 Nottingham Drive, Fallsington, PA, 19054, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Motion by Aaron, do I have a second? Second by Bill. Nastasha, can you call the board, please?
Bill,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
All right. Petition number 3, Lakeview Terrace 2023 LLC. This was continuance from May 12th, 2026. Sorry. Yeah, May 12th, 2026. This is the third continuance. Address is 251 South Olds Boulevard, Fairless Hills, PA, 19030, tax map parcel 13014006001 and 13014006002, zoned HR, requesting the following variances in connection with 28 additional residential dwelling units contained within 2 newly constructed buildings, along with a 500 square foot leasing center and a 2,500 square foot indoor recreation area. From section 209-16F to permit maximum building coverage of 20.36%, whereas 15% is otherwise permitted. 2, from section 209-16F to permit maximum pervious coverage of 60.6%, whereas 25% is otherwise permitted. 3, section 209-16G to permit a total of 533 parking spaces, whereas 822 spaces are otherwise required. 4, section 209-16F to not provide an outdoor active recreation area, whereas 79,000 square feet is otherwise required. 5, from section 209-16F to provide 2,500 square foot of indoor recreation area, whereas 3,160 square feet is otherwise required. 6, from 209-16F to provide for a 33-foot distance between buildings, whereas 50 feet is otherwise required. And 7, section 209-161E1 to provide a buffer yard of 8 feet, whereas 75 feet is otherwise permitted.
Mr. Chairman, we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB 1. Two will be the addendum attached by the applicant. 3 are renderings of the proposed structures. 4 will be a deed for the property. 5 will be notification to applicant's attorney, Matthew McHugh, dated June 1st, 2026. 6 will be proved that the property was posted with the required placards. 7 will be the applicant continuance requests. We'll mark them collectively as 7. 8 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier-Times. I've been handed by Mr. Altieri the certificate of service, which I will mark as Board Exhibit 9. I believe that's all the exhibits. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Leonard Altieri. I'm an associate at the law firm of Claire Harrison Harvey Brandsburg, representing the applicant this evening, Lakeview Terrace 2023 LLC. I have with me our civil engineer, Eric Clace, as well as a representative of the property ownership, Mr. Joe Heller. I did pass up to the board while the chairman was reading our application, a packet tabbed A1 through A5. For record-keeping purposes, I just want to identify them real quick. A1 is the CV of our civil engineer, Mr. Eric Clace. A2 is an aerial of the subject property. A3 is a sketch plan prepared by Gilmore & Associates dated April 25th, 2025, last revised January 1st, 2026. A4 is a copy of the deed, and A5 is a copy of our affidavit of service. I have on the board Exhibit A3 right now. And again, what we are seeking this evening, as the chairman said, is relief related to a project that involves the construction of 28 additional residential dwelling units contained within 2 newly constructed buildings, along with a 3,000 square foot amenity space, which will consist of a 500 square foot leasing center and a 2,500 square foot indoor recreation area to serve the residents of the expanded community. These improvements, as you will hear from our civil engineer and from our representative of the ownership, are designed to enhance the livability and functionality of the site, provide necessary administrative and recreational amenities, and respond to continued demand for high-quality residential options within the township. To accommodate the proposed improvement, the relief requested this evening is from various sections of the zoning district, which our property is located in the HR high-density zoning district. The variances sought are minimal in nature relative to the scope of the proposed development and are necessary to implement a site plan that meets modern planning designs while integrating harmoniously with the existing residential site. We do not believe that this is an intensification of the site, but rather a thoughtful and well-considered extension of an established use that will contribute positively to the community. So on paper, these variances do seem pretty large, but in reality, as will be testified to in greater detail by Mr. Clace, we're really talking about very minimal increases. With regards to building coverage, we are seeking a variance to expand that to 20.4%. The maximum is 15%. However, the existing building coverage currently is 17.9%, so we're seeking an increase of approximately 2.5%. With regards to the impervious coverage of the site, we're seeking a variance to allow 60.5%, which will exceed the 25% threshold set out in the ordinance. However, again, when you look at the existing impervious coverage on the site, it sits currently at 56.9%, and we're seeking only an increase of 3.6%. And then with regards to the parking, which again, we will have this testified to in greater detail by Mr. Clace, to permit 533 parking spaces, whereas 822 parking spaces would otherwise be required. Of the 534 parking spaces. Of the 534 proposed spaces, 361 are existing legal nonconformities. The proposed use for these 28 residential units only require us to provide 84 additional parking spaces. 173 additional parking spaces will be provided through restriping of the existing parking area. Again, although the total number of the proposed spaces is below the ordinance requirement, it exceeds the parking demand that would otherwise be generated by the proposed development. As the chairman noted, we are also seeking variance relief to not provide outdoor recreation area, which would otherwise require us to provide 79,000 square feet. We're seeking a variance to provide only 2,500 square feet of indoor recreation, where 3,160 square feet would otherwise be required. And then variance relief with regards to building setbacks, the distance between buildings, as well as the buffer yard. Again, I just want to reiterate that we do not believe, and it will be testified to by Mr. Clace momentarily, that this requested relief does not represent an over-intensification of the site, but rather a thoughtful and well-considered extension of the established use that will contribute positively to the neighborhood. With that, I would like to call our first witness, which will be Mr. Clace, and have him sworn in. Do you want the podium or do you want the mic? What do you want?
Mike's fine.
Could you state your first and last name and spell your last name?
Sure. The first name's Eric, E-R-I-C. Last name's Clace, C-L-A-S as in Sam, E.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Clace, can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Sure. It's Eric Clace. I'm a civil engineer.
And where are you currently employed?
Gilmore and Associates.
And you're a licensed engineer in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
I am.
I do have on the screen Exhibit A1, which is the CV of Mr. Clace. If the board wants me to go through a formal colloquy, I can, but I do believe he has been admitted as an expert before this board before. Is that correct?
I have, yes.
Correct. Yeah. You're good.
We're good, so we'll have him admitted. Thank you. Turning over to just tab A2, which is an aerial of the existing site. Mr. Clace, can you walk the board through what we currently see on the screen here?
Sure. What you currently see is the existing townhome community. It's approximately 16.9 acres. There's 288 existing units. In the center of the development is a green area. It takes frontage on to the northwest Oxford Valley Road, to the south Olds Boulevard, and to the west Southway Drive. There are, hold on one second, 361 existing parking spaces to serve the 288 units.
Perfect. Moving over to tab A3, which is the revised site plan. Can you, I kind of gave a high-level overview to the board, what it is that we're talking about. I don't know if there's anything you want to supplement to it before we jump into the variances, but I'll give you that opportunity to do that now.
Yeah, sure. No, as Leonard stated, in the grand scheme of what we're trying to do, we're adding 28 units to 288 for a total of 316. When you're looking at things dimensionally, it's somewhat de minimis on impervious coverage, building coverage, because we're already substantially over on those items. As for parking, that's the key here. We're only required to add 84 parking spaces, but we're going to be adding 173. So we're playing some catch up. How are we doing that? There's a large number of areas through the site that aren't striped for parking, therefore mostly not utilized. Some people park there, but not all the time. We're actually going to stripe it out, and the spaces do meet the township ordinances for parking spaces. So again, we're required to add 84, we're adding 173.
And then, let me just hit this. Okay. I think what we should do now is just walk through the variances. So starting off with the first variance, which is from section 209-16F with regards to the maximum building coverage. We are requesting 20.4%. The maximum is 15%. Can we kind of walk through the board as I kind of gave an overview of already about the existing building coverage and what it is that we're proposing? And
Sure.
why it's necessary?
Right. With this development, again, we're going from the existing of 17.9, 18 to 20.4. It's only a 2.4% increase. We're adding, as I stated, 28 units where there's already 288. So it's not a gross improvement of what we're already on site.
Section 209-16F of the ordinance to permit maximum impervious coverage of 60.5%, whereas 25% is otherwise permitted.
Yeah, again, existing on site is 57%. We're only increasing it 3.6%. Again, a very small increase to what is actually there.
Section 209-16F of the ordinance has to do with parking. 533 parking spaces are what we are providing, whereas 822 would otherwise be required. You kind of touched on parking, but I don't know if you want to dive into that a little bit deeper.
Sure. Again, existing on site now is 361 spaces. We're going to be adding 173. So we're bringing that 361 up to 534.
And the development itself would only require what amount?
For the proposed development, it'd be 906.
But I mean, for the additional
Oh,
28 units, excuse me.
I'm sorry, for the additional 28 units, we'd need 84. We're proposing 173.
Section 209-16F to not provide an outdoor active recreation area where 79,000 square feet would otherwise be required.
Yeah, I mean, existing, there's not one now. That's the reason we're not proposing one at this time.
Okay. Section 209-16F to provide 2,500 square feet of indoor recreation where 3,160 square feet would otherwise be required.
Yeah, in working with the lot owner, the developer, et cetera, they feel the 2,500 square foot meets the need of what's required.
Section 209-16F to provide for a 33-foot distance between buildings where 50 feet is otherwise required.
Yeah, that's only in one location. If you're looking at the proposed development on the screen, you see two larger buildings, the longer ones, and then the little tiny square. The square is the real estate building. The distance between that building and the two townhome sections is 33 feet. That's the only place on the entire site that this would be the 33 feet in lieu of the 50.
And to put another way, that's not backing up or encroaching into any of the existing residential units
It is not.
or an existing neighbor.
It is not.
Okay. And then section 209-16 1E1 to provide a buffer yard of 8 feet where 75 feet would otherwise be required.
Yeah, that would be in this exact location along the northwest unit where you see the really thick black line up there. That would be the area where it's 8 foot.
And we are providing some sort of plantings along that?
We are. We're providing a substantial amount of vegetation and fence.
Okay. I have no further questions for Mr. Clays, if there's any from the board.
Just one from me. Was there any,
That's fine.
did you guys do any internal outreach, like site meetings with the neighbors for this, and was there any requests from them?
So I do have a representative from the ownership coming up next, if you
Okay.
want to wait until.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Was there anything about stormwater management in the application?
We will be handling full stormwater management required by ordinance during land development if this were to proceed.
So in terms of, can you just walk me through like what's there now versus what you're proposing?
Well, yeah, there's an existing detention basin on site, and what we would be proposing, if you're looking on the screen to the bottom left, the, what I'll say, a couple of contours there, it's like a triangle, that would be a rain garden that we'd be proposing. Do
Okay.
you see it there next to the one unit on the left?
Right over here.
Yeah, right there.
I see.
Yeah, that's what we would be proposing, and that would be more than ample for what we're proposing as part of this.
More than ample for the additional 2.5 or 3% of what you're adding, or in terms of the
Oh, no, for
overage
what,
the
for what
whole-
we're adding.
For
But
what
then,
you're
working
adding.
with your township engineer through the development, he would have every right during land development to say, hey, there, I don't know, I'm just speaking for him. If there was a problem out there that he knew of that we did not, that would be the time for him to bring it to us, and we would have to deal with that during land development.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a few questions. One, parking spaces. How many apartments are going to be total when existing and when you're done?
It'll be 316 total.
And how many parking, no, that's how many
That's how many units?
units, right?
Yeah.
How many parking spaces are you proposing for that 300?
It's 534 total.
All right. And that's going to be sufficient?
Yes. I mean, the owner's going to be speaking next as to the existing parking situation.
I drive by there every day. I'm very familiar with the existing parking situation.
Okay.
You say that you're only going to go up, what, 2%, 3% impervious?
Correct.
But you're already at 60. 3% seems minimal if you were down to 20, but you're already at 60, so it's really not, you know, an overall scheme. The other thing I had a question on, so the ordinance wants 79,000 square feet of basically open space or play area, whatever, and you're proposing 0. I don't think that's acceptable because, and then you're even reducing the indoor area from 3160 to 2,500. I mean, what are the residents or children, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, I think it's more of a question that's going to be for the owner. I will say, you know, in advance of that, They're not hearing a lot of requests from their residents to provide for an outdoor recreation area. But again, that'll be more of a question that,
Well, that's current residents, but there's always gonna be future residents, you know, turnover's gonna be in there. I mean, I'm looking out for the community, that specific community, I mean, that's why it's there. 'Cause what do you have around it? You have developed homes on two sides, and you got, what, the shopping center across the street. So where are they expected to go to? What are they expecting you to do? You know, and parking spaces, by code, how many are you supposed to have for that 300 and?
With this development, you would need 906 by code, and we'll fall at 534.
So that's a big,
Yeah, to put it in perspective, you need currently 822, and they're at 361.
well, but when you go and upgrade, don't you have to come up to code now, request a difference?
No, you don't have to come up to code. When you're proposing something new that's an existing nonconformity, you have to meet what's proposed, but the board can also say, hey, you need to do better than what's required, which we are. We're required to get 84, and we're proposing 173, which is more than double what we're actually proposing as units.
It's pretty tight back there, parking.
Sure.
Well, let's see, the buffer yard of 8 feet, what's the buffer yard between that property, what's behind that 8 feet, what's on the other side of that line?
There are existing homes back there.
So you want to be 8 feet from existing homes?
Well-
Instead of the 75 where the code says, right?
That's correct, but in a number of locations, if you want to zoom out here, in a number of locations, it's already the case where there's parking all along there where all the homes are already. So that buffer does not exist along those residences.
But the code as of today is 75.
Sure,
feet,
absolutely
right?
it is.
So you want to be right up 8 feet from their property line?
That's what we're proposing.
That's all I got right now.
Any other questions for Mr. Clays? Township?
Yes, if I could ask some, and just for the record, here on behalf of the township as a solicitor asserting our party status under the MPC. Mr. Clays, just a couple questions for you.
Sure.
I'm going to start with the area that the where the proposed construction is. That's currently grassy open area, correct?
That is correct.
And that previously was the location of the pool for the complex?
About 20-some years ago, there was a pool there, yes.
Was it removed somewhere between 2006 and 2008, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And a pool would be an example of outdoor recreation space, correct?
It would be.
Okay. This, and I think this has been covered, but I just want to make sure we're clear on the record. The proposed development would replace the area that had been designated for outdoor recreation space when this property was constructed, correct?
Well, I can't answer that exactly because we were unable to find the record plans as part of this development. You would assume that, but then I would also assume that the areas in the hatching pattern around the property used to be part of the property that would have met those requirements, but were taken by the township. So that need or requirement for recreation could have been taken in other means, but through our research and title report searches, we couldn't find anything. We don't have a record plan. We don't know what was proposed or at the time what was required. But you do see those hatching patterns around this that could have very well met that requirement.
And it's your representation the hatching patterns were part of your property?
We're pretty sure it was. We can't prove it, but again,
Okay.
the township can't prove that it wasn't.
I don't think I have to prove anything.
Okay,
tonight,
you're right.
so,
You're right. Well, you asked the question.
I
so
did,
answered.
but you're making a representation that you don't have anything to support, correct? When it comes to whether the township took the land from your property?
No, what I was doing was answering your question as to there is no proof that that section met any requirement in the past.
Okay, but you did testify that it
was
the
green.
location of a pool,
It was a pool,
which is an outdoor recreation facility.
but I didn't represent that that met a requirement at the time.
I didn't,
so I'm just going to object.
didn't
It's
ask
been asked
that.
and answered.
It has. It's been multiple times.
well, the witness is being argumentative, so if I have to ask to treat him as such, I will. Is there any provision in this plan that provides for any outdoor recreation space as required under the code?
There is none.
Okay. And that's not the number that you represented, the 79,000 square feet, is the equivalent of the 250 square feet per 316 units across the entire property, right?
It is.
Even if the requirement was only applied to the 28 new units, there is no proposal to provide outdoor recreation space for the equivalent of that square footage either, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. At the outset and in the application, which was stated by Mr. Altieri, the purpose of this is to enhance the livability of the site, the addition of these units, is that correct?
That was his statement.
That was my testimony.
That was his statement.
Do you agree with that statement as part of the
I
application?
don't have an opinion on that.
Okay. Turning to the indoor recreation requirement, the indoor recreation requirement was stated is required to have about 3,160 square feet of indoor recreation.
Correct.
And there's only being proposed a 2,500 square foot.
Correct.
And that is the, I'll agree, that is the equivalent of a provision of 10 square feet across the 316 units in that calculation, right? The 3,160?
That's correct.
Okay. Was there an effort made to accommodate that calculation on the site instead of the 2,500 that's being proposed?
I cannot comment to the effort that was made. What I can say is my client who runs this type of development stated that the 2,500 would meet his need.
But not the ordinance requirement?
That is correct.
Okay. Give me just a second, please. I think based on the questions that were asked by the board, I have no further questions at this time.
Okay, the 2,500 indoor recreation, what is that proposed as?
Bob, I'm gonna pass that to
Okay,
you.
all right, Nastasia has a couple questions for you.
Perfect.
I have a lot of questions. One, I would like to know, I'm just gonna say them all. I would like to know, what's the hardship and where's the current leasing office located? Yeah, those are two to start with.
Sure. As for hardship, I do these meetings all the time. We don't have a definition of a hardship. The site is shaped irregularly. The applicant would like to fill in that area with additional units and an actual lease center. Right now, the actual leasing area is in one of the units, so they'll be taking it out of a unit and putting it in its own building to upgrade the site. But the standard definition of a hardship, here, the only thing I could point to would be the irregular shape of the of the lot.
Okay, so there's no outdoor erect space, there's not enough parking, there's not enough buffer space. Is this affordable housing?
It is not.
So this is just about the property owner's income?
Well, can I just redirect one question? I would just disagree with the assertion that there's not enough parking. I think that we've testified that there is sufficient amount of parking based off of what our demands and our needs are. I'll also have a representative of the ownership testify to the fact that there is no issues currently on site with regards to his residents, not having the ability to park. And with the addition that we're providing, again, as was noted earlier, we're required to provide 84 based off of this proposed development, and we're doing 170 plus through the restriping.
Yes, I understand that, but, so it would give it a total of 533 parking spaces, where on this paper, it says 822 are required, it seems like that could be used for this space could be used for the required outdoor rec, additional parking, a lot of things other than new units. That would bring it closer to meeting the ordinances that it should be meeting.
Well, I think that's a question that you as the zoning board need to kind of evaluate in the sense of, would you rather have a property that's completely paved over and be a parking lot, or would you rather have something that is welcoming, adding new residents to the community and kind of a facelift and an improvement of what's already an existing and vibrant community there? And that's the sole reason why we're seeking the variances, and my client is willing to make the investment in the property itself.
And Eric, just to touch base on that, there's no new paving being added. The additional parking is just by restriping the existing parking lot?
That is correct, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're saying that you're not presenting a hardship at all?
The hardship, I would state, would be, again, just the shape of the lot. It's an odd-shaped lot, that's it.
And you're not providing anything for people to do outdoors? They all have to either go off-site or be in little 10-foot sections in your...
I'm going to redirect that to the lot owner.
And parking, I don't necessarily agree.
Okay.
Because personally, I drive by that every day.
Yeah.
So you're parking along the, like when you pass Dion's down there, that's jammed. You got parking all the way up on across the complex. Or people expected to walk from one side of the complex to come park, you know. I mean, there's a lot on the parking. And still stuck on the impervious surface, 60% you're already at. And you still state that you're, you know, it's only 2% more, but still you're a lot of impervious surface there.
Right.
And as stated, you testified about the pool that was there and it's gone. So there's no recreational area for anybody at that location. I mean, there's not even, you're not even close to a park where there's walking paths or anything. I mean, you got a shopping center on one side, homes on the other. There's nothing for the people that live there to do.
Eric, is your client, or both of your clients, are they willing to lessen the number of units to add outdoor rec space? Has that been an option you've talked about?
I was going to get to that, but because I'm under testimony right now, we can't get into that. But we could have an open conversation about what we could do and things we could subtract and add, if that would be okay with you.
Yeah, if the board wants to go off the record and have a conversation on that, I think it's appropriate.
No. We can move on to the owner if you want to.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Could you state your name and spell it, please?
Joe Heller, Heller.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Heller, can you state your name and your occupation for the record?
Joe Heller, Regional Property Manager for Chelsea Management.
And how long has Chelsea Management been the owner of this property?
We took over in 23.
2023?
Yeah, March 23.
All right, perfect. A couple of questions, and some of them are going to be follow-up questions. The green space, what I will refer to as the green space where we're proposing this development tonight, what was that? You know, we heard testimony that it was previously a pool. Is that accurate?
Was it previously a pool?
Yeah.
As far as we know, I mean, since we took over in 2023,
That microphone a little closer.
since we took over in 2023, there's been nothing there other than a field and some shrubs and trees.
And the green area right now where we're proposing, is that something that's used by the residents for anything?
People will walk through when they're going to shop, but I don't see people, you know, necessarily taking, you know, walks in that field.
All right. There was some conversation with regards to the proposed indoor recreation. Can you explain to the board what it is that Chelsea Management is proposing?
So currently, we have no place to lounge. We don't have a fitness center, and we're looking to, you know, serve the community with, you know, those type of amenities. Many people are looking at other communities because, you know, they have interest in a fitness center and a business center, or, you know, a lounge where they can, you know, just meet and relax. And we feel that it'd really benefit, you know, people in our community.
Kind of taking a step back a little bit, your role that you have with Chelsea Management, can you explain to the board what that is on kind of a day-to-day basis?
In terms of my
In terms of your
responsibilities?
interaction with the residents of this community?
I come, even though I'm regional manager, I do stop by the property. In the beginning when we took over, I was there, 5 days a week. Now I stop, off less frequently, but I definitely have interactions with all the residents. Any complaints come to my desk, and we're obviously looking to improve the community so people will stay. Can I talk a little bit about Chelsea management for a second?
Sure.
Or, in general, our outlook is customer satisfaction. We believe in keeping long-term residents, so any real complaint that we feel will lose residents is something that we take very seriously. So, in terms of, we're not just people who come in there looking to raise rents and not do any renovations or improvements. If you've driven by the property recently, you can see we took a lot of care with the landscaping, made a lot of improvements. These are things that we are looking to improve our community.
And so with regard to like the operation of Chelsea Management, who's the person that would be there day in and day out?
Me.
That's you? And if there's any complaints, you said that those complaints come to your desk?
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard any complaints from any of your residents that there's not any outdoor space?
No.
Instead, you've been hearing the opposite, that they want more indoor amenity space. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
All right. With regards to the leasing center, where is the leasing center located now?
It's currently in Building L, which is the first building to the right over there.
Right here?
No, when you go a little bit further down. Yeah, right there, where your mouse is.
Okay.
Closest to the new proposed stuff.
And that existing leasing center,
It's a one-bedroom apartment.
so essentially it's just a converted apartment that
Correct.
you all are using? You kind of touched on this a little bit, but with regards to the proposed expansion, can you explain how you and Chelsea Management, or Chelsea Management, sees this to improve the long-term viability and attractiveness of the property?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to put 3-bedroom townhomes, and we had a lot of requests from incoming prospects for bigger units. We currently have 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That's the largest size that we have, and we had a lot of people asking for a larger unit size, and we thought that that would be something that we could really accommodate people with in this area. Anything else?
No, I think it's fine. With regards to parking, we've heard a lot of testimony about the site. Can you explain to the board what you see or your staff sees on a day-to-day basis with regards to parking there?
I see most of the area is not parked in. The striped areas are parked, minimally. I just came there just now. I saw a couple people parking not in the striped area, but other than that, I mean, there's more than ample parking.
Do you get complaints from your residents that there's not enough parking?
We do not.
Okay. And do you believe, based off of the numbers that we're providing to the zoning board tonight, in your experience of being a regional property manager, that the parking that we're providing is going to be sufficient for this new development?
Absolutely.
All right. I have no further questions for Mr. Heller.
I have a question. What is the, I don't know, like the age brackets? You have versus, I don't know what to say, young, old, but basically you have a lot of kids, young families in there.
We definitely have families, but I would say they definitely do not make up the majority of the property. I would say mostly is young professionals.
Young professional
Young professionals,
families.
with single, a couple. I wouldn't say, there's not many children running around.
All right. That's all I got.
Any other questions from the board for the owner or property manager?
So the 2,500 square foot recreational facility, you said it's fitness center, lounge. Is this in this center leasing building?
There will be a leasing center incorporated into that building. I think it's 500 square feet.
The leasing center will be 500 square feet.
So the
Within
leasing
that.
center is 500 square feet, and then the other 2,500 square feet is the
Going to be used
other
as other
recreational
recreation.
material. Okay.
Yeah,
And it's all in that center building?
correct.
Okay. And in terms of the breakdown of what you're really going to do, like whether it's all gym or showers or lounge area, or like that's still TBD?
Yeah, we're still going to get the specifics, but we obviously would like a really nice fitness center and a clubhouse for people. A lot of people work from home now, and they find that working in their apartment is not so comfortable. So in other properties, we've, put like nice couches, lounge areas, free Wi-Fi. This way, our residents can come and use that type of stuff during the day.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Anything else from the board for the property manager? Township?
Yes, please, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Heller. In your application, you state that the 28 additional dwelling units are designed to enhance the livability and functionality of the site, provide necessary administrative and recreational amenities, and respond to continued demand for high-quality residential options within the township. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, how does adding additional units to a fairly large apartment complex already provide enhanced livability for that apartment community as it is today, when it's going in the area of open space on the property?
Good question. For one, I don't think it takes away from the community. I know that's not specifically your question, but, we have a really nice community now, and I think that, with more, members of our community, I think it'll enhance the community, in general.
And so, when you give your testimony on how your observations of how residents may use the site, what hours are you typically on the property during the day?
Me, 8:30 to 5.
8:30 to 5. So you're typically there when people the ones who don't work from home at least, are generally, and I know people work different shifts, but generally you're there during business hours, correct?
Correct.
So you're not necessarily seeing what people are doing in the morning or when they get home from work?
I'm not there physically. We do have cameras on site, and I do have maintenance technicians that live on site that do report to me if there's any issues, and those are not things that have come across my...
But you're not necessarily asking your maintenance people, hey, was anybody out having a catch on the grassy area in the center of the community?
Correct.
Okay. And you aren't necessarily seeing where people who have a dog are taking their dog for a walk or throwing the ball around, correct?
So that we see during the day as well. That's something that, I will see, and if you could zoom out, I don't know.
But not in those pre-work or post-work hours, is what I'm saying.
Correct, but I don't see why it would be any different, because, it's not, there's a lot of area that people live, for instance, not near the actual, proposed construction, where there's big grassy areas that people do walk their dogs over there.
Okay. I know you testified that you purchased this property about 3 years ago, that's correct,
Correct.
right? When you purchased the property, did you do hire someone to do a review of the code to see what you could or couldn't do on the property?
No. We were told, by the seller that there was some opportunity for development over there, but that was not, a deal breaker.
And so, did you have plans to do improvements to this property when you purchased it 3 years ago?
In terms of this improvement?
Sure.
No.
No. But did you do a review prior to deciding to want to add 28 units to the property?
What we got was, requests for more units. We're 99% occupied here, and, people like our community, they want to move in, so we saw an opportunity, to make more space for people.
That's great. I love that people love living in Falls Township. But as you're reviewing today and your understanding that you're here tonight is that what you're proposing is in excess of what
Absolutely.
we permit under our code.
Absolutely.
Correct? Okay. And it is. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
I just have one other thing I don't understand. By taking away open space and you're improving their lives?
Well, we're adding in the fitness center and the clubhouse, which they currently...
Fitness center, correct, but you testified that it was for like a lounge area. What about younger people, what are they gonna do? They gonna go in there and just lounge?
Well, they could, that's a good question, but they could, we have free Wi-Fi, they definitely are able to, connect and, able to, play, games on there. We do, and other properties, we have people come. I know as archaic as it sounds, people do play board games in there, with their friends. But it's, a place to meet and, another area that you don't have in your home that we're giving to our residents.
So it's not gonna be a gym or?
It will be a fitness center as well, but it will be allotted also for a lounge.
So how big is the lounge versus fitness center?
I don't have the specifics right now, but we're looking to make sure that they fit both needs.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board for the property manager?
Before the, Mr. Chairman, before the record closes, can I just go off the record real quick and talk to my client?
Sure.
You guys build a new building, I feel like I'm at the Kennedy Space Center at that countdown. Mr. Chairman, in light of the conversation that has occurred between the board, the distinguished questioning from Mr. Heleniak, we have decided to have a conversation about making some changes to this plan. So it sounds that there is a desire from the zoning board and from the township to provide some sort of outdoor amenity space. And so in conversation with my client, we are open to looking at a playground or a pool. We'll have that conversation with everybody here. And then also talking about the reduction of units for this site. We're currently proposing 28. I'm happy to start the negotiation off with reducing it to 4 units. And if we can, come up with some sort of agreement, then we can take the guidance from the solicitor here on how he would want us to revise this and how he would want us to move forward. But I think it's worth having the conversation if we want to hold the record open and come.
Leonard, just to set your record straight, you said take it from 28 to 4 units, or you're taking 4 units off?
Taking 4 units off.
I got
So
you. Okay.
28 units to 24 units. Thank you for that correction, Mr. Matei. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been the best job a zoning
Yeah,
board
well,
has ever done.
you guys built a beautiful building, but it is hot in here, so a little stifling. So that's kind of the conversation that we just had outside, and I guess I would turn it over to the board.
What is the square footage reduced if you take the 4 units off?
It's approximately taking 5,000 square foot of building off.
Okay.
Right in that neighborhood.
Okay. Any questions to what's proposed to the board?
I'm sorry, sir. I think I have to say on behalf of the township, I don't know if the board and the applicant can negotiate on a approval in this manner. I think the applicant has to decide what they're presenting, and the board still has to decide if they meet their burden. About obviously defer to the zoning hearing board solicitor on that procedure, but I just wanted to make sure I stated it on behalf of the township.
And I agree with the township solicitor. I think it'd be inappropriate to go back and forth and try to negotiate some kind of resolution here. If there is a proposal from the applicant, depending on what happens here tonight, they can always come back with a revised plan, which then can be entertained by the township and also by the zoning hearing board. But again, I think it'd be inappropriate to go back and forth and try to negotiate some kind of number that the board could, I guess, look at, discuss, and then vote on. So I think at this point, we could let the applicant finish his presentation, let the township finish whatever evidence they might have to present. And if necessary, the board can take an executive session to discuss this matter. If not, it can proceed to a vote then.
Well, yeah, I would also agree that it would be nice to see a plan of what's proposed with these buildings off.
Perfect. So then what I think we should do is, if you're so inclined, Mr. Chairman, keep the record open. We'll go back and do some homework, and then come back here in maybe a month or maybe 2 months, depending on how much time we need.
Maybe some feedback from the residents of what they would like also.
Yeah, and when you say residents, Mr. Chairman, you're talking about residents within this community or residents that are but the community?
Within the community, who's actually going to use the outdoor recreation space?
Okay.
And Mr. Altieri, just to give you, a heads up, if there's substantial alterations to this plan, it might need to be re-advertised. It's something I'll have to discuss with the township, but I guess it really depends upon what's being proposed. And again, if it's a material alteration, it might need to be, again, re-advertised. And we might have to start this over.
Yeah, I mean, I see that point. I would think that would apply more so, and I'm not going to get in an argument with you. I would think that would apply more so if we were increasing anything as opposed to a reduction. I would also just make the argument for the record that the residents had been informed of this hearing and was duly advertised. And I would say that it would be on their if there's any residents who had any interest in it, they clearly are not here this evening, and it would be on them to kind of continue to follow this. But again, I'm not going to argue with you,
Yeah,
Councilor.
no.
I do think it's a valid point, but I just wanted to raise that as well.
I agree. And then just, you stated that the residents were made aware, the adjoining or abutting property owners were made aware, the individual apartment occupiers were not made aware of this application, because A5 only lists, 20, generously 20 notifications to the adjoining or abutting property owners. So we can't say the residents were notified. We can say the adjoining or abutting property owners were notified.
That's fair.
So is it at this time you're asking for a continuance?
I would, Counselor.
Okay.
And I think we could, put on the record for right now that we'll be back in a month. So at least there's a date certain for a continuance there.
Yeah.
Matt, I know more the land development side, but has there been any feedback from the fire marshal?
I haven't received any comments.
Okay, all right. And Eric, just one more question for you. What's the cartway width once these stalls are installed? the parking stalls. So what would be the cartway width in between the parking stalls itself? It looks like it says on the plan 24 foot, but it's very small. I can't really see
I
it.
have a plan with a blow up. My eyes are old as well. so-
Okay.
Are you able to read that dimension? I have one of them that shows the, I'm pretty sure it's 24, but.
Looks like it says 24.5.
There, you will zoom in.
I don't
So 94, so 94 minus 30, Jesus Christ, I'm not doing
He's looking for the depth of the stalls?
Yeah. We'll get a dimension, Bob, but it looks like it's 24. We'll get a dimension.
24 from curb to curb?
No, from space to space.
Space to space, awesome, okay. And then I think it's appropriate with all the negotiations we had today and talks, 30 days is a little time constraints on that, so I think August would be appropriate. So you guys can have the conversation with the township, propose the plan, and 8/11 would be the meeting date for that.
And the only item I would add, because I was asked the question, is recreation. In talking to the property owner, the two areas that are hatched are township open space that are green grass, and that is where the residents usually go out and play ball and things like that. So just to get it on the record.
Okay. All right, so I would need a motion on
Before we do the motion, I just want to make sure, Mr. Hillnack, you don't have anything in regards to this continuance request?
No, the township doesn't have objection to the continuance request, and we'll reserve putting our case in chief, if any, till after the applicant rests.
All right, and then just an abundance of caution, I know we started the speeding, we've already started. Would your client consent to a waiver under the MPC and Falls Township Code?
Yeah, we have no problem with that.
Perfect. Okay, so I would need a motion on continuance to the August 11th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bill, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nastasha. Nastasha, can you call the board?
Bill?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next time, can you have AC, please?
That being said, meeting adjourned. Thank you.